Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Monday, December 24th, 2012. This is Christmas Eve. Our next broadcast will occur on Wednesday, January 2nd, 2013. Wednesday, January 2nd, 2013. India, the world's largest democracy, is undergoing throes of social upheaval after a reported gang rape on a bus about a week ago. Since that time, millions of Indian women and other people have risen in the streets, protesting in front of the Indian parliament, essentially on a non-stop basis, causing the Indian police to fire water cannon and tear gas at them, all demanding a change in the government's policy and cavalier attitude of society towards sexual assaults against women. The situation was exacerbated over the weekend when an Indian actress shed the veils of anonymity and admitted that she too had been the recipient or the victim of a sexual assault, causing increased tension in the capital of Manipur, which is a state in northeastern India. Tens of thousands of people began to protest there, and an Indian journalist was killed by police when they opened fire at a rally. The situation in India now is really an example of the latest degree of globalization and the ability of people to contact each other on a horizontal basis and mobilize forces against institutions. In this case, it's the Indian government that recognizes that they need to change. There's a big storm rumbling around the United States. Bad weather is stretching basically from the East Coast to the West Coast, snarling travel plans for people as they try to reach destinations for the holidays. Heavy snow out in the Midwest has caused many of the central hubs out there, O'Hare Airport and Midway in Kansas and St. Louis, to back up traffic across the country. Meanwhile, in the Ukraine, in the capital of Kiev, about 80 people have died from extreme weather. The temperature there has dropped to about 10 below zero. The 83 people reported dead apparently are all homeless people, and there does not seem to be any heating shelter stations in place for these people. Meanwhile, about 500 people are being treated in the western part of Ukraine for exposure to cold weather, having been stuck in a traffic jam that's lasted for 3 days. Bermudian reinsurer Validus has come in with their losses from Superstorm Sandy. They're saying it's going to cost about $333 million for Validus, while meanwhile, the recently acquired Flagstone Re is going to take about a $39 million hit. Validus said that this estimate is based on an industry-wide loss of about $25 billion. This places it at about the middle of the conservative end of the spectrum. So their purchase of Flagstone has resulted in an immediate acquisition of about a $39 billion loss. Meanwhile, in western China, out in Xinjiang province, there's been a deadly snowstorm out there that's stranded drivers there as well. A number of people have been reported dead. This is in the autonomous Uyghur region of the country. Also in Boston, you might recall earlier this month, there was a situation in Japan with a tunnel in which 2,000-pound concrete panels began to fall down from the ceiling of the tunnel onto motorists, killing 4 people. While on Friday afternoon, a 100-pound steel panel on the Callahan Tunnel in Boston fell out of the wall, landing on roadway. Unfortunately, it did not hit anybody, but it caused tremendously long backups. They closed the tunnel, reopened again at about 5 a.m. today, after state workers pulled and tugged at all 2,800 metal wall panels to ensure that they were not going to fall out. State transportation officials say that the panel that did fall fell because the metal fasteners had become corroded. The tunnel is not scheduled for an overhaul until 2014. It was built in the early 1950s, but the steel panels were only installed about 20 years ago. More on the continuing decline of infrastructure in the United States. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. We'll be back on January 2nd. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next year.